Hi everyone, Trust Riazi. I'm a coach and hypnotherapist. Jumping on because I wanted to create a quick video to talk about my nighttime routine. And this is something that I just got done explaining to a client, and this is something that I think could potentially help you. I know that it's something that's transformed my nights and has helped me a ton. So I just wanted to share it with you. So let me first talk about what I used to do when I used to lie in bed at night. So I used to lie in bed, and the first thing I would do was I would focus in on all of those things that I didn't get done during the day. So I would kind of start to beat myself up for things that I didn't accomplish or didn't feel like I didn't have enough time to do. And it just wasn't a good feeling. It just felt like I never had enough time, and I would just feel yucky inside because I would just beat myself up right before bed. Once I was done kind of rehashing the day and beating myself up over the things that I didn't get done as a busy mom and business owner, the next thing that I would do was I would focus in on the next day. So then I would start to think about all of those things that I needed to accomplish the next day, and I would instantly start to feel overwhelmed and nothing's going on. I'm just in bed, but all of a sudden I'm starting to feel already overwhelmed for the next day or the next week or whatever it was in the future. And it's important when we fall asleep what our intent is and what we're setting, what the tone is. And so if every night I'm falling asleep and I'm beating myself up and I'm worrying about the next day or my future, then that sets the tone while we go to sleep for our subconscious to feel overwhelmed or to feel stressed out. So I knew, and so I struggled with insomnia and just falling asleep. So I knew that something had to change. So what I do now is I have a 3-step process, and it's super easy. It's not rocket science, but it helps. So the first thing that I do when I get in bed every night after some of my hygiene, some of my sleep hygiene stuff that I do, the first thing I do is I ask myself what I'm thankful for, right? So I focus in really intentfully on gratitude. And so I might name 3 things, I might name 5 things. I try my best to switch it up a bit so I'm not always just thinking of those things that come easy to me, but that I'm grasping at those things that are really easy to take for granted. So I might think about that warm shower or the fact that I got green lights on the way to work. I mean, whatever it is that I'm grateful for in that moment. So after I spend a couple minutes of reflection on gratitude, the next thing that I do is I ask myself this question. I ask myself, what did you do today that you're proud of? That is such a different energy than what I used to do. When I used to beat myself up, when I used to struggle with not getting enough done, not being good enough, not having enough time, lack, deprivation, stress. Now I was focusing in on what I was doing right. So now I ask myself questions like, what did I do today that I'm proud of? How did I move forward in reaching my goals? What are some action steps that I took today that are aligned with me moving forward, so that I can really take that time to recognize that I truly am moving forward, that I truly am taking action? Because sometimes it's hard to see that light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes it feels so far away. You're here, you want to get here. It feels like you're not making any progress. So it's important to spend that time reflecting on, what am I doing right? So that's the second thing I do. The third thing that I do is I focus in on visualization and or self-hypnosis. So I will either use visualization as a tool, and what I mean by that is I'm really connecting with that end result. I'm connecting with what that version of me at the end of that tunnel, what that looks like. And honestly, more important than what it looks like, what does she feel like? What does that end goal feel like for me? How is that going to change my life? I don't wish it. I don't sit here and say, oh, I wish I could have that at the end of the tunnel goal. It's definitive. This is who I am. This is who I'm becoming. It's a belief. It's not a fantasy. It's not a wish. And I'm connecting and really allowing that to register as I'm closing my eyes right before bed. And I'm attaching that to emotion. That's the most important part. So I think that this is something that, again, is going to set the tone for you to fall asleep more blissfully, to have more intent focus while you're sleeping, to help you manifest or work on goal setting. and just be a more positive experience when you're falling asleep at night. Let me know if you found this video helpful in any way, and what your thoughts are. If maybe you are like me and you can maybe relate to that old experience in the past where you lay in bed and you beat yourself up and you rehash the day and you feel stressed and overwhelmed, and let me know if that was you and if you feel like this might help you at night. Thanks so much. Talk soon.